Good afternoon, everyone, and I want to thank you for being here today as we discuss an important step forward for East Baton Rouge Parish. Today, I am pleased to present a comprehensive proposal for a transition plan that has been carefully crafted to ensure the continued delivery of essential governmental services in the newly incorporated City of St. George. This proposed intergovernmental agreement, developed through detailed analysis and the hard work of many of our City-Parish Department heads, particularly the Finance Department and the Parish Attorney's Office, outlines a clear path for transitioning the sales tax revenue and the responsibility of delivering important services in St. George as it begins to operate as an independent municipality. Our goal has always been to protect all of East Baton Rouge Parish taxpayers while maintaining the consistent delivery of basic services that our residents rely on every day. Services like trash collection and cutting the grass and maintaining streets and managing drainage. As we were finalizing this proposal to St. George, just this morning, I received a letter from Mayor Dustin Yates, responding to my August 13th letter to him, asking for their priorities as a city. I welcome this communication, and I am confident that East Baton Rouge Parish and the City of St. George are on track to negotiate a reasoned transition. The key elements of our proposed intergovernmental agreement are as follows. First, revenue allocation. This is based on a thorough analysis of the cost of basic services in the City of St. George in comparison to the sales tax our parish collects there. Secondly, service continuity. Initially, the city parish will continue providing all services to residents of St. George as we do today. To say it another way, St. George will eventually take over the basic services for its citizens at some point. But City Parish will provide to St. George the sales tax revenue that covers those costs. Thirdly, long-term planning. Our proposal also includes provisions for legacy costs associated with City Parish retirement and other post-employment benefits, ensuring that these obligations will continue to be met fairly and transparently. This proposed agreement is a reasonable and necessary step as we navigate this transition. It allows St. George ample time to establish its operations while working to ensure that our city parish services remain uninterrupted and that taxpayer dollars are used effectively and responsibly. As I've said from the beginning of these negotiations, my priority is to protect all East Baton Rouge Parish taxpayers and to maintain the quality and consistency of services throughout this process. Simply transferring funds without a concrete plan in place for service continuation would be irresponsible and a dereliction of my duties to our residents. I am committed to continuing these negotiations in good faith with the best interest of our residents in mind. This proposed intergovernmental agreement represents the next logical step in ensuring a smooth transition that benefits everyone in East Baton Rouge Parish, including the citizens of St. George. I want to thank you for coming out today, and I look forward to working collaboratively to move our community forward.
Yeah. So last night, Transition District, they passed a resolution authorizing their legal team to possibly file a suit to collect the 2% sales tax, I believe since the April Supreme Court decision. As far as any kind of negotiations here with this proposal and services going forward, does that lawsuit, if it happens, affect any of that?
Well, first of all, there has not been a lawsuit filed. Secondly, I think it's important to know that I have been in communications with the mayor of St. George. And thirdly, I think it's very important to note that we are now in the process, as you are here today, realizing that we are in the process of negotiations and we have an intergovernmental document. And so it's unfortunate that the St. George Transition District has not and doesn't want to participate, it seems, in this process. But I do believe that the leaders of St. George, who are working in the best interests of the city's residents, are seeking an efficient transition of the delivery of services. And we're going to move forward with our negotiations. And as I said earlier, my goal as the parish president is to make sure that I look out for all the citizens of our city and parish.
Are they entitled to any, does the city parish believe that they're entitled to any tax money for the past 4 months then?
Well, we are in negotiations. And so as we are in negotiations, the dollars and cents will be discussed.
Chris, you have any questions?
Yeah, just in that time that y'all have been having those negotiations, has the talk of this lawsuit that he was just talking about, has that been brought up at all?
That has not been brought up. A lawsuit has not been brought up. Our negotiations, as I said, has been in good faith with Mayor Yates, and to date, we have not had any discussions with Mayor Yates of any type of lawsuit.
Joe, you got any questions?
Is there, with St. George not having a permanent government, everybody's kind of interim, is that playing any type of role in negotiations, or does that need to be settled ahead of time?
It does not have to be settled ahead of time. Mayor Yates and some of the other appointed officials are interim, and that's legal, that's part of the law, and what we're doing is legal, and we're following the law in this whole process. I think that's very important to reiterate. We're not just coming up with some hypothetical, pie in the sky situation or information. We're using data, we're using analysis, and we are using the law in this negotiation process.
Do y'all have any kind of, hope as far as how swiftly things are going to move with this proposal here and negotiations going forward? I mean, I know it seems like some things have started to move a little bit slowly, but there is, an election set for December 7th for their sales tax. What is your, hope?
Well, I certainly believe that this intergovernmental agreement is a catalyst to move forward in the negotiation process. Negotiations can take a short period of time. I believe that we want to be very thorough in this process. It's a very serious situation in terms of the overall impact, not only for the citizens of St. George, but for the citizens throughout the parish. But I believe that the intergovernmental agreement that we have put forth is one that should be looked at very seriously and shows that we are working against the backdrop of the law to move this process forward.